Oh, we look dark now again, don't we? Let me see if I can get it working here. Bear with. Oh, there we go. So we're a little bit dark. Apologies, everyone. We are a little bit dark.
It's mood lighting.
It is. The problem is I've got a notification on my phone and I can't actually now clear it.
I'll fill
You feel.
So as you can see, we've got a slightly different setup to our usual Ask an Expert, because we have a question to answer, and we thought the best way to do that was to do it practically. But we would talk about that.
Practical demonstration. Hi, Hannah. You're right.
Hi.
So yes, we have a practical. We're going to wait a couple of moments. We've got a few people. Can I just tell you what I've just found?
Yes.
I've just found, for those of you from a couple of weeks ago, I've just found a slightly battered purple pom-pom on the floor. Now, I don't know whether that says about the tenacity of a pom-pom to survive, or what it says about
the cannons in my house.
So ignore the pom-pom, please.
Children bring them back and forth.
Yes, it's the children. Talking of children, what have we been up to this week?
It's been the Easter holidays.
It has been the Easter holidays, and our three amazing little cherubs have been with their grandparents. No, not all of them. Not yes. No, we love them. We love them. We absolutely love our kids. Obviously, a silly thing to say. So they've had a couple of grandparent days. They've had a few days with us. We're contemplating what to do with the last weekend before they go back to school, aren't we?
We might be Airbnb-ing it.
I've been checking out some Airbnb to see if there's anything worth going to do.
If anyone knows of anything wacky, wild, different, not your standard hotel or B&B, that's not too expensive, but enough for a family of 5 to have a night or two away, something cool would be good. Put your recommendations down.
There are some massive... Oh, Sonia. Hello, Sonia.
Hi, Sonia.
Sonia. I think, Sonia, are you a new bride with us or a new viewer? But hello, thank you for joining. I did see on Airbnb not that far away someone's motorhome, like their Winnebago, on their
driveway.
On their driveway, yeah. You got to use their toilets in the house and everything, and the garden. But ultimately, you were staying in their Winnebago on their driveway, which is I don't know. I'm putting it out there. A little bit weird.
It's a little bit weird.
But kind of cool in the same time.
Yeah.
Kind of cool in the same time.
So thanks to everyone who's been joining us this week. We've had a
Fat
few
Sonia,
newbies.
thank you.
What was that?
She said yes, she is. I think I asked, are you a new bride with us? She said yes, and that's absolutely fantastic.
Absolutely fantastic. We've had lots of newbies this week, and in terms of stats, because we like a few stats,
we
our
have stats.
Instagram feed.
Hold on, can I do a stat first? This is our 13th in a row Ask an Expert. Now I missed one, so it's your 13th, our 13th, my 12th.
I would just like to also point out, now we are babbling a little bit, so I apologise, that I am going out of the country in a couple of weeks' time, leaving Alan.
I've never done that before.
Don't do it.
No, yeah, I'm sorry. I apologise
leaving
to
Alan
the world.
with 3 children for 11 nights.
How am I going to cope?
I fly out on a Wednesday. My intention, as it stands, is to do Ask an Expert from the airport. That may or may not happen.
Yeah.
But my intention is that Alan's going to bring me in live so I can answer some questions.
Bringing the world together.
So let's all pray that my flight's delayed.
Yes. What time is your flight at?
8:30.
Oh, okay.
So I could just...
No, there's no way in a million years.
I'll do it as I'm bored.
You're right, it could be delayed,
But we've had nearly 1,750 Instagram new followers.
Instagram's amazing, isn't it? Like, we started Instagram, we put a post in the group, and we said, love it if you follow us, and it's just grown, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, team member Hannah, who looks after the Outside Bride for us, she's been working doubly hard. Hi Belinda, doubly hard on making the Instagram as amazing as it is.
Nearly at, I don't know the exact number, I checked this morning, 5,000 hits to the blog as well, which is amazing.
You're moving me on from the last...
Yeah,
moving me on.
And we've also, in the last week, launched our the Outside Bride page. So you're all members of the group, and we suddenly realised that actually it was very difficult for people to find us unless you knew about us. So we have created the Facebook page to go alongside. So if you'd like to like that page and potentially share it with anyone you know, that would be fabulous.
That would be fantastic. If we're honest,
it's fantastic.
Fantastic. The page is a formality. Facebook and Instagram wouldn't let us do some of the things we really wanted to do without the page. And then we sat there and went, well, we should have the page anyway. So that's why we have the page. Hi Sylvie, fantastic. Oh my gosh. I get told off, so fantastic to have you on live, Sylvie. Right. You know you watch on the catch up. Should we move on?
Yes, so we're going to start with Hannah.
Hannah, who has just messaged us saying she was rushing back from boot camp, but boot camp's important, Hannah, so don't worry about it. This is good. She had a question in the group this week on table layouts.
So Hannah asked, because she was doing some very beautiful, and she posted in the group this week, a jam jar with white flowers and foliage, and she was asking how many table centres would you need for a 6-foot wooden trestle table. Now, we didn't have a wooden trestle table because they are very specific, but they are beautiful. I do like them, and our friend Gary, who is in this group as well, he's getting married.
Well, I think he's watching actually.
I hope so, Gary. Gary, maybe
say hi, Gary, if you're watching.
They are absolutely stunning, and I would love to get my hands on them. But in the short term, what's that? I can't.
Sorry, no, come back. Keep going.
In the short term, we're quite sad, and we have things like trestle tables in our house because we are a wedding business. So what I thought I would do is mock up, or a very, very loose mock up of a trestle table.
Well, this is still a 6-foot trestle table. It's just plastic, not wood.
It might be slightly narrow.
If it is narrow, it's narrow by like 5 centimetres. You know, like a negligible amount.
What I've done on the table, and I hope you can see it, it's a little bit dark in here, but you'll get the general effect. So we have got a 6-foot trestle table placed for, we've put 6 people on this table. Now you can probably squeeze 8 people on a table, but what I would say is you will be very close to
well, you
each
wouldn't
other.
do 4 each side, would you?
You'd end up having, if you had 2 trestle tables butted up to each other, you'd end up having someone on the end in between the tables.
Practical male, you would never have more than 3 each side. No. If you wanted to put 1 each end, okay.
But the majority of people are choosing these days to have the long rows of trestle tables.
Agreed.
So with that in mind, I've set this table for 6 people. Now I've set it obviously without cutlery and without plates of food, because I think Hannah's having family style service, so she's having meats and salads on the table. I've put what I say the worst case scenario of what you might have.
You might want to move your wine glass.
I'll move my wine glass just
that's
for a second.
Emily's, that's not our part of the presentation.
Now I've put down 6 plates, 6 charger plates. You probably wouldn't have charger plates, but 6 plates, 6 wine glasses. I've put down a table runner, and I've put down, at the moment, I've put down 2 glass bottles. Now I'm going to go through it all.
So are these, what wine glasses are these?
Well, these are a standard red wine glass.
Well, it's rude for me not to use them then whilst you're discussing these.
Oh my
Here's one I prepared earlier.
There are things to consider that you may or may not have on these tables, and it all depends on what kind of catering style and what kind of sit-down style you're having. Some of you may not be having a formal sit-down style. Some of you may be having barbecue where you're just up and down. You may not have your table, your plates on the table.
There you go, Belinda. Sorry, keep going.
Your plates may not start on the table. That might be brought to the table. You probably wouldn't have a charger plate. But what I wanted to show you is the worst case scenario with a charger plate and a plate and your glasses. And now this is only 1 glass. If you were having full service where you'd have a water glass as well, imagine a second glass on the table as well as full cutlery. Now this is not including
and a napkin.
A napkin.
Possibly across the plate.
And this is not including table names or place names, and this is not including anything like favours that you might have on the table. Now, strip this back. If you take your plates away, and if you take your glasses away, and if you take away your table runner, you are left with a very bare, very white, now I appreciate wooden tables is very different, a very bare table with 2 glass bottles on it. You may want more if that was the style you're going for. The reason I've put a table runner on is to show you how you can break up the white. Now this is a Hessian tablecloth, and I appreciate Hessian has been done to death, but it's still.
There are some people like it.
It still has.
I don't think it's been done to death. I think it has its place.
I think Hessian tablecloth, table runners have a place because you can bring so much life to them with the colour and the choices of your table centres that you pick.
They're still ultimately rustic.
They're rustic and they tie into a lot. And if you're having wooden tables, they can be quite naturalistic and they can bring everything in together. You don't have to have the lace, but I would recommend if you're going with a bare table, choose things like, and I was talking about to my friend Claire who's getting married, who might be watching tonight as well, about having maybe different different coloured tablecloths, or if you're having white tablecloths, if you're going with tablecloths, have a runner just to break up the white, because if you're not having a full service, it could look very bare. Now, Hannah put a picture of her table centre, which was a jam jar with flowers. Again, beautiful, really, really simple, really easy to do. You could forage for whatever you want in the woods, in the gardens, whatever you want to do to get something really simplistic. What I've got here are 2 bottles. Now these were Sicilian lemonade bottles.
I was trying to work out.
But I drank a lot of that when I was pregnant with one of the kids, and at the time they were like really good. You can't really see in the glass, but they were all embossed glass, and they were really, really vintagey looking. And I kept them, so I drank loads. And I think we had about 12 bottles. So you could start think about.
You know what? I'm being slightly facetious. I wouldn't go vintage, but they're just cool.
Yeah, they bring a little bit.
I don't know if you can see that. They're just very cool.
Bottles are great. Bottles like this, you'd get a single stem in because you wouldn't want anything too full. Because
sorry, Hannah's now watching.
Hi Hannah,
this is all for you.
I was just you'll catch up on replay, but basically I've set the table, and I know you're having wooden tables, and I know you're probably having various different types of food stuff, but I've put a worst case scenario. What would be on your trestle table for 6 guests, filling up the table, so you can start to see what kind of size and things you have to play with. So with bottles, they're tall and thin. They're great for one stem, or a couple of stems.
And as a man who kind of gets this, one stem's fab. I think.
Yes.
I think it just doesn't detract from the point of the guests mingling and chatting. But it looks great.
One stem in these, take your table run away and take your plates away. That's a very bare table.
Agreed.
So what I've done now, I apologise to anyone who might be a florist in this group today. I'm not a florist. I literally, before this video, went out into our garden, took a little bit of foliage from the shrubs and stuff, and have put together something really, really, really.
Florists are like celebrants. You've got to be careful.
I know.
Hi, celebrants.
So I put together
As a joke, it's a joke.
one jam jar.
Yeah.
Right, with some foliage, which is very, very good, very similar to what Hannah's put together. Well, no, not similar at all. It's absolutely crud, but you'll get the idea. With a jam jar, they're still small, they're still narrow, they're still you still think of them as being quite contained. But if you're going with something like Hannah showed us with quite a lot of foliage, if you put one there, and you imagine a second one there, and you've got 6 plates, and you've got 6 glasses.
Plus wine.
Plus your wine, if you're having wine on the table, plus your charger of salads, and
jug of water.
A jug of water.
Sides.
And you might have your salads and your meats and everything else. This table is suddenly becoming very cluttered. What I would suggest, if it's this size or wide, excuse me, Alan, I would suggest just one per 6-foot table if you're going with something this size. If you're going with something one stemmed, like the bottles, absolutely go with 2 because you still have the space, because you're not taking up. Sorry, this is making me allergic.
That's alright. And you've got kudos for saying crud a moment ago, by the way.
No. I still think I'm in kid mode with the kids are in bed, but I can't swear, but actually no, this year. So yeah, when you've got something wider, you have to think that takes up quite a lot of table space. And
practical again. These guests here now have a bit of greenery in their beards,
So I'll take this away for now, because I've got a few other things to show you now.
However, can I just also say I like the natural malarkey.
I love the natural malarkey. The other thing, someone else in the group, I can't remember which bride it was. I'm really sorry for not remembering names. Was talking about having the greenery. They're going to go forage. It might have been who. I'm so sorry.
Someone went and found the bottles.
The lady who found the bottles in the wood. You're also foraging for things
I can try and
in your
find
woodland
that.
this week. But you were talking about having foliage on your table. Once again, think about the width of your table. You don't need that much foliage.
Did we comment that we were absolutely gobsmacked at how much glass she found randomly in the forest? 10 out of 10.
So yes, think about foliage, but foliage on your table.
Charlotte.
Hi Charlotte. foliage on your table will take up quite a lot of space. So I've got a few other things to show you. I do have
Come on, rattle through them.
We have an Aladdin's Cove of stuff. So I thought, selection of jam jars, empty jam jars, because jam jars do come up in this group quite a lot.
Whole grain mustard. That would have been jalapenos.
Pasta sauce.
Pasta sauce. No, the other one was a Lloyd Grossman's pasta sauce.
So think about different sizes and scales, because you can mix up your bottles and your glasses and do a collection. And do a collection of
you know what? That could look really good. Imagine like a tea light in something slightly fatter there. If it's an outdoor wedding, a lot of marquees and TP companies will be very funny about naked flames. But a TP in a glass, 99% of the time will be absolutely fine because it can't get out.
But again, a cluster of them together on a 6-foot table, you probably only need one cluster. You don't need two.
And off centre can work because the wine could be there with the display off centre.
What else have I got?
Shall I remove these?
This makes me yes, remove them. So in my pregnant days, I was drinking Sicilian lemonade. In my not so pregnant days, I drank a lot of port, and we have probably about 12 to 14 port bottles
I've
now.
got a feeling we've got more than that. Move on. Don't let everyone know about our drinking problem.
Great. Again, they're probably more of a single.
We do not have a drinking problem. Keep going.
We have 3 kids.
So just port bottles.
We have a drinking one. Port bottles are great. Again, single stem, but they're slightly fatter.
Can we take the rose out?
Yeah, there's a bit of dead rose, I'm afraid.
Well, I didn't think it was that. Alright, is that out of our garden?
No, it's out of that flower arrangement.
Flowers I bought you the other day.
One stem in. Very Beauty and the Beast styling. But one stem's probably enough. But again, think about the entire table. If you haven't got a tablecloth, if you haven't got a table on it, if you're not having plates on the table, that could look quite bare. So think about either bringing up the height slightly with other things around it, maybe some tea lights or some battery powered tea lights or something just to fill around that space. I've also got things like jugs and different jugs that you can get them on
I'm not making a comment, keep going.
Nice
There's more women watching than men. More women watching than men.
But then you've got things like fish bowls as well. Now they're
so
1990s, but I love them.
Well, the thing is, they are one of those things. You know, on the keeping it simple, stupid, simple is best at a wedding. The whole few stones, couple of lights, and perhaps a very thin vase at the top looks great. So while you've got this out, Elle has just asked. This video is really helpful. If you have time, could you talk about the number of jars you might need for a 6-foot round?
Yes, I will do that next, actually, because that's very different.
That's clearly too big for a trestle.
Your surface area is so much different for a round table, and we were just covering Hannah's question. So the other 2 things I think, so a fish bowl is great. Now the common theme with everything I've showed you so far is low level. Now I am a really big believer in, I love low level stuff because I like to be able to, if you're in this kind of situation, it's really nice to be able to talk to the person in front of you rather than going, hi, how you doing? Yeah, nice to see you. Yeah, because of the high or quite bushy kind of arrangements. The opposite end to that, you could go really super high. And again, the 90s are coming back into fashion quite a lot with their really tall,
love 1996,
really
my favourite year ever.
Either large vases where they have a big adornment at the top, but again, that'll give you the same situation with a low one. You can at least see your guests. So think about either going super high or super low, but regardless of anything, super simple, because you do not need anything else on this table. I swear to you, people think so hard about all the little details which are important to your day, but keep it simple because you forget plates, water jug, glasses, water glasses, champagne glass if you're having a toast maybe, or a shot glass if you're having a shot for your toast, food coming out, you might have a side plate. This table becomes very, very busy, so keep it simple.
It is true, isn't it?
And to answer Hannah's, I wouldn't go with more than one if you're having that style from what your photo was. One per table would be plenty. Think about your food on the table.
Okay.
Turn down to a round, so a 6-foot round would fit 10 guests.
6-foot round, 8 to 10 is the recommended for a 6-foot round.
You've got a lot more surface area to play with. So if you're doing a jam jar arrangement again, and let me just take that there a little bit.
Well, as the marquee guy who supplied 6-foot round, Still, you've got to remember, Emily's going to do this bit now, but definitely still the keeping it simple. Simple is always going to win. Only ever 2 bits of advice with a wedding. One is plan your vision, which we can talk about again. We talk about every other week or so, but that's a whole Sunday night thing. Plan your vision. And number 2 is keep it simple. You know, chair backs and everything are beautiful, but not everyone's going to pay as much attention to them as perhaps you guys may. So just keep it simple, vision planning, 6 foot round, go.
Right, 6 foot round, it sounds silly, but your surface area is so much bigger because you're 6 foot in every single direction. So on a trestle table, you're 6 foot.
Well, I'm 2 foot that direction, so this is empty space.
This is empty, this is 6 by 4. So you've got an extra 2 foot bigger than this table, yeah?
2 foot each side.
No, this is a 4 foot table wide. No, it's not. No, alright, it's 2.6.
This is 4 foot wide, is it, darling? It's about 2 foot. It's not. It's whatever.
2-3 times the size of this table. So in your centre, I would say if you're going with a jam jar arrangement, 4 to 5. If you're having some people have the wooden rounds and things like that, 4 to 5. But I would vary the heights of things. I would say if you use a charger, I keep using everything from this table. I did such a nice job of making it pretty. Imagine that your charger plate is your round in the middle. Start with your centre point, with your height, and then I would work around it so that everyone on the table has something to look at in their angle. So
key points here: mirror, round of wood, round of slate, charger plate.
Slate is stunning.
I love slate. You know the best thing about slate, I don't know if we can get into trouble for this, but I'm a qualified mountain leader, gloss over that, but I spend lots of time in slate quarries and all this other stuff. And there's slate laying around. Now, you're not meant to take it. I'm not suggesting you take it. Please don't take it, but there's loads of slate just laying around.
We got married in the Purbex. We have a lot of Purbex stone.
We have some very nice Purbex stone scattered around.
We got married next to us.
But that's really important. We got married in the Purbex, and we have Purbex stone involved very loosely in our wedding. So, you know, what can you involve from locally? We talk about local produce. You know, ice cream. We had Purbeck ice cream at our wedding and Purbeck cider at our wedding. But what's manufactured around your wedding?
That's what I love about Charlotte and her foraging, is that she's getting things locally from around. And I think one of my brides in September, Alex, I don't know if Alex is watching, Alex is going to do the same. They want to get things locally from the day before their wedding to go out and get their greenery. I think that's really nice. If you're not going to take anything like stone or slate or something physical, get things. So it's a bit more sustainable, isn't it? It's nice.
Well, it's you know what?
It's local business.
Yeah, and it's just cool, isn't it? You know, anyone can go to the range, and there is no issues with the range. Anyone can go to the range and go, yeah, I need 15 of them, please. Got 15 tables, job done. But the foraging, there's a very big difference between spending all Sunday afternoon sticking stuff down compared to spending Sunday afternoon foraging for cool stuff for your wedding. You know, very big difference.
Yeah, so to answer the question about the rounds, I would say 5 to 6 jars per table on a 6 foot round would be plenty, because again, think about the whole setup. So you've got your centerpiece, you've got salt and pepper shaker maybe, you've got your water glasses, you've got everything else on top of that, and although you've got further into the table, it does start to mount up, yes. So I hope that's of use to somebody.
We've spent 25 minutes discussing. It's a big one.
It is, because I get this time and time again, and I've worked with several brides now, and I'm working with a few this year as well. You get, and I say this every week without fail, but the sentiment is always the same. You get the Pinterest board in your head. That board is so cluttered with jam jars and foliage and wreaths and bunting and Chinese lanterns and fairy lights and this and that and ribbon backdrops, and you want to do it all, and all of a sudden this whole space becomes just a bit of every idea possible, and you don't need it. You really don't, because ultimately you've got the guests there, you're talking, you're bubbly, and it's just the atmosphere is what carries your day, not what's on your table.
Very quick analogy, as an ex-marquee guy, the amount of people who said to me, oh, I want a heater. Our wedding's in June, I want a heater for like 11 o'clock at night in the marquee. And I used to say, how many people you got coming in the evening? And they go, well, we'll have a total of 150 people. So I'm like, so at 10 o'clock at night, when it gets cold, you've got 150 people dancing and steaming, etc., etc. You don't need a heater. And the point is, you just don't need half the stuff you think you might need.
Our parents, forced us pretty much to have a heater for our wedding.
They did. Right, that's true.
It did not get
switched on.
once.
Fact. Ours was September the 15th, a few years ago now.
Well done.
I know. It did not get switched on. Right, okay.
Right, let's move on quickly.
Yes. So, Louise Newton.
Right, firstly, woohoo!
We haven't got any the kids have got maracas. We could have got some
Three sleeps.
Louise, you are our official... Right, so we imagine there are others, but you're the first one to have actually shared with us that it's your wedding this weekend.
I'm so excited.
You've given us a countdown. We are excited for you. We really hope that you share some
photos afterwards.
Photos, well, before the setup would be cool, and afterwards. We please.
We might use you as a case study for Ask an Expert.
We're going to send Louise. We're going to send you a present. So I'm going to drop you a message. This is our campfire coffee. It's not a bottle of prosecco. Apologies, but it is our coffee. We're going to send you a pack of this, Louise. So I'm going to drop you a message, find your address, and chuck one in the post to you.
Hopefully, so you can drink on the night up, the morning after your wedding.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you are absolutely dying, you've got a bit of coffee to perk you up and get you living the dream again, ready for your honeymoon.
Louise, if you've had a great day, we might get you in for an Ask an Expert for you to do a real-time bride, what you found worked, what you found didn't, a bit of a debrief of your wedding, so I'm sure that would help other people.
But Louise also has a question.
I know she has a question.
And she put this question on my reminder about tonight's Ask an Expert, and I tagged Emily in it, because really, I've got no idea.
I have a very simple answer to
first-hand experience. Louise has put, because Louise has spent a long time planning her wedding, like everyone has, and she's put, how do I keep my dress clear, her beautiful, and she will look beautiful because everyone looks beautiful. How do I keep my dress clean on the day?
It ain't gonna happen.
No.
I really, well, you could keep it clean on the day, but I can guarantee you, now I had a large dress, and I have been to a lot of weddings and a lot of outdoor weddings, and I've worked at a lot of outdoor weddings. There is no chance on this earth, if you're having an outdoor themed wedding, that your dress will be white the day after. It's just not going to happen.
Did you ever get yours cleaned in the end?
No. Do you know
we
why?
It's upstairs. Do we risk getting it out?
I was
not
awful.
Now, next week.
I was awful. I did not get it cleaned afterwards properly. I put it in the bath and I gave it a little bit of a and then put it in a bag and hope for it. It still needs to be boxed. 5 years later, nearly 6 years later, it's not being boxed. But I'm never going to wear that dress again.
I feel a poll coming on about used wedding dresses.
Yeah, and
has it been cleaned? Did it get muddy?
There are some really amazing companies like Real Green Dress and stuff who do recycled dresses and things. And I think that has its place. But ultimately, you're not going to wear that dress again unless you're going to pass it down to a child.
Is Lydia Rose going to wear it?
She probably won't.
Well, she's never getting married.
Some of the later.
She's never meeting a man if I've got anything to do with it.
So think you can try your hardest. If you've got if you can tie it up, fantastic. I can't think. Top of my head, I cannot think. When you pull it up the back, if you've got any train to it, I can't
Isn't
think.
that what your bridesmaids are for? Aren't they there to carry it for you?
They're meant to.
But they're probably pissed. Yeah.
But try not to walk over muddy patches. You're in England. If you're going to have an outdoor wedding, you're going to be in a field. It's going to get muddy. If you're going to have,
isn't it meant to be 20 degrees this weekend?
It is. It's meant to be hot.
Something like that.
It's meant to be hot.
Let me check the weather forecast. Louise, if you're watching, let us know where it is, and I'll check the weather forecast for you.
Just if you're that precious about it, don't drink red wine. Make sure that you have an emergency kit of things if you do get spillages on your dress that your bridesmaids.
Oh no, weekend after it's meant to be 20 degrees, not.
No, it's definitely this weekend.
Yeah. So sun, obviously. Yeah.
Get your bridesmaids to have an emergency kit with some bits and pieces that can do spot cleaning for you if you really need to. But ultimately, my darling, and I say this from the bottom of my heart, you're going to have an amazing day. Once you've got the ceremony out of the way, once you've done your toasts, just take your shoes off,
put
relax,
some wellies on,
put your wellies on,
put some
and
slippers on.
Honestly, have the best day.
Look, that's really difficult. We had an 18-month engagement, so we spent 18 months planning our wedding, and some people watching will have had longer, some people shorter. But it's really difficult to just go, stuff this, I'm just going to go with it, isn't it, on the day? Yeah. So try and relax, have an amazing day. We truly, genuinely wish you all the best and have for an amazing day.
And really, if anything silly goes wrong, like you get dirt on your dress, it doesn't matter.
Yes.
It really doesn't matter, and you can just laugh it off afterwards and have another glass of wine.
Yes, and if you are local and you need anything last minute, let us know. We'll see what we can do to help out.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
We've only had 2 questions today. We've made that feel half an hour. So let's wrap up. So Hannah, table layout. Elle had a 6-foot round table layout. Louise, 3 sleeps, fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. It's my Gary Barlow thing. Outdoor wedding planning course. Have we mentioned the course?
No.
You guys aren't our target audience, but we've got to mention it.
If you do know anybody who is getting married or has recently got engaged, probably not Louise because it's probably a bit late now.
Yes.
But we are running our 2-part course, online course for people who are recently engaged and looking for a bit of steerage as to how to go about planning their outdoor wedding. Anything from how to choose your location, what to look for in a location, to wet weather plans and everything in between. We're there to help. So if you do know anyone who might be interested in that course, please do feel free to put them our way. We'll be happy to take the money from them. And yeah, well, it's true.
No, we'll happily help them out.
We will happily help them out.
And our last note, because we're trying to get a bit better, all we're meant to say is feel free to like and share, but you can't actually share this outside the group. You can share the page.
That's why we created the page.
Oh yeah, that is why we created. I knew there was some business reason, but I'd actually not realised. I thought it was just because we needed some other stuff. Anyway, feel free to like and share. Point here, right there.
That's Instagram, my love.
No, this is, if you go to the 3 dots in the corner and go turn on notifications, that's what they say. Anyway, all that rubbish. Thank you very much. Thank you, Emily set all this up tonight whilst I was...
It's probably going to stay in the kitchen for the next week.
No, it's not. It will be tidied up and put away straight after.
It's probably going to stay in the kitchen for the next week now.
Thank you very much, Louise. Once again, fantastic. Have a great weekend. Have a great wedding. Please share it with us. And everyone else, we wish you a fantastic... How many times have I said fantastic?
Far too many times.
A fabulous Wednesday.
What was it, Dale Winton?
I didn't start with, it's Wednesday, April the 11th, and it's 8 o'clock. I've done 11,230. I've done 11,232 steps today, everyone. Right, thank you very much. Someone's just posted. Sonia, thank you. Sonia, thank you.
I'm going to keep waving because we're further away from the camera today. So thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.
Normally I can reach the camera. Bye, everyone.
Bye, 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 bye.